Assalamu alaikum students. This is Fariabad and our today's lecture is related to Gulliver's Travels. Gulliver's Travels is a novel whose author is Jonathan Swift. Author. Author means, yes, very good, the writer. The author is Jonathan Swift, and here is the picture that you can see. Okay, so before starting the introduction of the novel and the author, I would like to share the objectives of today's lecture. That is, to enhance reading skills, to improve comprehension, and to increase the knowledge about author and his style of writing. Jonathan Swift. Let's see about the life of Jonathan Swift, who was born in 1667 in Dublin, Ireland, and a very miserable life. See, his father died and his mother left him. He suffered from extreme poverty. He graduated from Trinity College in Ireland in 1686 and got his master's degree from Oxford College in England in 1692. Became a priest in 1695, and a very important thing that you must keep in your mind while reading this novel about his age. Age means the time in which Jonathan Swift lived, that most people in this time could not read and write. Okay, the important works of Jonathan Swift: A Tale of a Tub, The Battle of the Books, A Modest Proposal, and Gulliver's Travels. Gulliver's Travels is a voyage, and it has 4 parts. The first part is a voyage to Lilliput. The second one is a voyage to Brobdingnag. The third, a voyage to Laputa. And the fourth one is a voyage to Houyhnhnms. Gulliver's Travels, Jonathan Swift's best fictional work, was published in 1726 under the title of Travels into several remote nations of the world by Lemuel Gulliver. The book contains 4 parts, and each part dealing with one particular voyage during which Gulliver meets with extraordinary adventures on some remote islands after he has met a shipwreck. I have gathered a few pictures of Gulliver's Travels. The first is the part in which you can see Gulliver standing in a land of Lilliput. Land of Lilliput was a land of tiny people. Tiny means small. Second is the part where he is standing in Brobdingnag. Brobdingnag, it was the land of giants. Third is the land of Laputa. Laputa was the land of science and technology. And the fourth is the part where you can see in the picture, it was the land where horses ruled. Okay. The part that we are focusing on in grade 6 is part 1, A Voyage to Lilliput. And this is the outer cover of that novel, Gulliver's Travels, A Voyage to Lilliput, in which Gulliver is the narrator and it is written in first person. Gulliver is the narrator. Narrator is a person who tells the story. Narrator is a person who tells the story. Very good. Okay. Gulliver's Travels is a satire, and Jonathan Swift was very famous for writing satires. And what is satire? Satire is a literary work holding up human follies to ridicule, irony, sarcasm, used to expose the folly of anything in the society. Just to be more easy in words, Jonathan Swift wrote stories that made fun of the bad things that people do and the way they act to make them look ridiculous and silly in order to try to get them to change the way they live and act towards others. Why use satire? Why he used satire? Listen very carefully. The early 1700s were a time when there was a great demand for social, political, economic change in England and Ireland. At this time and place, there was no place for such things as freedom of speech and freedom of the press. If an author, the writer, okay, if an author is not careful, he could be jailed or charged and not able to print his stories. So, using satire, Jonathan Swift was able to tell stories about make believe people and places when he was really making fun of English government and political figures. Are you clear about why he made use of the satire? Okay, yes, good. Introduction of the novel. This is the book image of page number 6. Page number 6 of the novel Gulliver's Travels. Just follow the reading. Gulliver's Travels. Introduction. Gulliver's Travels, A Voyage to Lilliput, is a story about adventures in a strange land. It is set in the 18th century. In the story, the main character is Gulliver. Main character, hero, and also the narrator. Okay? Gulliver was a ship's doctor. A great storm destroys the ship he is traveling on. Gulliver has to swim to save his life. He finds himself in a land where the people were no more than 6 inches tall. Do you remember? I also told you earlier this thing, that land of Lilliput was a place where people were not more than 6 inches tall, and he is seen as a dangerous giant. The story is told by Gulliver, like he is the, which word I've told you? Narrator. Very good. The story is told by Gulliver and is written like a travel diary. He describes his adventures in the strange land of Lilliput. A Voyage to Lilliput is the first book of Gulliver's Travels. And how many parts Gulliver's Travels has? Yes, 4 parts. A 4 part story that was first published as travels into several remote nations of the world. You can read the second part, Gulliver's Travels, further voyages in level 3 of this series. Gulliver's Travels, A Voyage to Lilliput is a very popular adventure story for young people. Young people means people like you, yes. But it also has hidden meanings, symbolic meaning, yes. Keep the word symbolism in your mind. Later on, I'll tell you about this when we will be reading this novel, Gulliver's Travels. It is a satire and entertaining political story. It was written to make fun of the leaders' life and even religion at the time. And what is the word that I've told and I've shared with you earlier? That it was written to make fun of the leader's life and even religion at the time. Which word I've used? Yes, satire. Very good. Read out, read out to find out some more about Gulliver's adventures in Lilliput. Introduction of the novel. Page 6, the same page that we were reading. And now we are going to read about the introduction of the author. That is, and who is the author? Jonathan Swift. Jonathan Swift was born in Dublin, Ireland in 1667. His father died before he was born. Very sad thing in his life. He did not pay much attention to his schoolwork, but he liked to read. He read a lot about things that he was interested in. Is this thing clear to you? Okay. Let's move on to page number 7. Page number 7. Have you opened? He is most famous for writing satires, and I guess you know what is satire, and you also know the reason that why Jonathan Swift has made use of satire. Very good. Besides Gulliver's Travels, he also wrote shorter stories such as A Tale of a Tub and A Modest Proposal. In A Modest Proposal, he writes a funny and some say horrible story. Horrible. Why horrible? The story says that there are too many people in the world and not enough food to feed them. And see the suggestion of Swift. Swift suggests a way to solve this problem. He suggests that the babies of poor people could be sold as food for rich people. Oh my God. Because of this and other stories, people said that Swift hated mankind, and perhaps he was mad. What do you think? Was he mad? Or was he a hater of mankind? Just think about that. Okay, few of the comprehension questions that you people have to do after reading the introduction of the novel Gulliver's Travels and also the introduction of the author. And who is the author? Jonathan Swift. Very good. What type of story is Gulliver's Travels? Question number 1. Second question is, what do you know about Jonathan Swift? And what type of writing is Swift famous for? This is the third question. I'm also going to share the answer key with you people. These are just, remember this thing, these are just the sample answers. You can write your own answers. Listen to the lecture one more time, two more times, very carefully, and try to write your answers yourself. Okay? See, this is the first question. What type of story is Gulliver's Travels? And here is the answer. Remember, it's just a sample answer. Then is question number 2. What do you know about Jonathan Swift? And in today's lecture, we have read many more other things apart from these things mentioned in this sample answer. And it's best if you write your own answers. Just give it a try. Okay, the third one is, what type of writing is Swift famous for? And it must be on your tips now. That Swift is famous for writing satires. Yes, very good. Children, I have given you the sample answers just to let you people know that what kind of answer is required, what should be the length from examination point of view. Okay. Now the home assignment. Home assignment includes these 3 questions that I have shared with you already. Plus there are few fill-ups and columns also. Just read page 6 and 7 of the novel very carefully and then try to do this home assignment. Thank you.